welcome to Miss Martin Muses and a premiere. Yes, it is a premiere, Precious, because I am on the road. Today we are talking about psychopaths. More specifically, what's the difference between a narcissist and a psychopath? Last week we talked about what's the difference between a narcissist and a sociopath. Since they're all kind of sharing many traits, I decided to show what's different. And of course, the more I look into this, the more I'm thinking, well, maybe a narcissist isn't so bad. To put it colloquially, narcissists can be very difficult to be around. If they are in a position of power over you, they can cause you some damage, but psychopaths are really bad. So let's go ahead and look at some definitions. Thank you for all of you here in watching the premiere and those that will be watching it after the premiere. The definition of a narcissist first, using the Oxford Dictionary definition. A narcissist is a person who has an excessive interest in or admiration of themselves. Everything for the narcissist is on them. Me. Me, 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 me. To exaggerate, a thunderstorm happens on your birthday. God mustn't love me. It's all about me. A psychopath is a person affected by chronic mental disorder with abnormal or violent social behavior. See what I'm saying here? We are in a total different territory. If I were to also make a generalization, it would be that psychopaths do things unto others. Now, I use this from the same website I did before, and I had the source in front of me, but I just lost it. But let's look at here. It says a narcissist is arrogant and self absorbed. Again, it's all me, 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 me. Me, a little more me, and even more me. A psychopath, cold, callous, and cruel. Now, at first, it might seem that those two aren't necessarily compare and contrast. But again, when you think about this cold, callous, and cruel toward others, narcissist to the self, and arrogant, very, very arrogant for narcissists. Want to also remind everyone that I am not a psychologist, that I use psychologists' research for these things, and I always cite my source. So if I get anything wrong, it is entirely my fault. And please feel free to correct me in the comments. The next one, a narcissist, highly defensive to criticism. And I mean highly to the extent that they will experience something called narcissistic injury and they will make you pay. Also, with a narcissist, it can be perceived criticism, even. We're all defensive, just criticism. Let's just admit it, but the highly over the top. So that's what a narcissist is. In contrast, psychopaths are emotionally detached. They don't care. They don't give a rat's rear end. What's there to be defensive about? It's just whatever. Someone's criticizing me. Really? like I care, but they mean it. They really don't care. Sometimes a narcissist might say, "I don't care." Or even a non-narcissist. I mean, come on, we're all human. "I don't care." Yeah, you care. By saying you don't care, you care. Psychopath, no. A narcissist tries to impress others. It's all about others, but back to me. I have to impress others for me, to feed my ego for the me, 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 me. In contrast, a psychopath tries to control others, and not for me, 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 me. They just do it. In my opinion, that's what makes psychos so scary. You can't find logic. You can't find reason with a psychopath. With a narcissist, you're like, "Oh, okay. You know, mommy didn't love you enough when you were a child, or got daddy issues, or you got passed over on a promotion one time too many." I don't know. You can give some reasoning behind what makes them want their ego fed. Psychopath, no, just wants to control others because they can. A narcissist feels pride and shame. They may pretend they don't, but oh, yes, precious, they do. They feel pride and they feel shame. That's partly what narcissistic injury is. So if you want some more details on that, maybe check out the narcissistic injury stream I did. Psychopath, indifferent. They don't care. No. Shame? What's that? I don't feel shame. I don't feel anything. Pride? What's what's that? It's complete detachment, complete indifference. A narcissist. Repressed empathy. That's a loaded one. But empathy is there. Psycho, no empathy. Easy answer. It's if you're seeing a pattern, I guess narcissists are actually emotional people. Psychos are not, but it still is a thing. Mm. The idea that you cannot understand the feelings of another. Someone's hurting, someone is crying, and you can't relate. My gosh. Zero empathy. The repressed empathy, from what I understand it from a narcissist, is that they're capable of it, but they have issues with it for other reasons, not to mention which how does it feed their ego? Narcissist projects blame to avoid shame. Narcissists actually feel shame really acutely. Good shame or bad shame, they feel it. They pretend they don't, but they do. So instead of feeling the shame, they will project the blame. I didn't do something to hurt you. You were the one that did these mean things. What are you talking about? That didn't happen. They will do or say anything to avoid shame. That's where it goes back to childhood. Maybe there's some maybe they had a narcissistic parent themselves, maybe emotionally abused, all of that kind of stuff, but projects blame to avoid shame. So they'll blame you a lot. That's why being around a narcissist is so draining and hurts your self-esteem after a while because you're like, "Dang, everything's always my fault no matter what." And if you have a sense of justice, it's very hard to be around. It's like, "No, that's not fair." Well, they don't care about what's fair. They will do almost anything to avoid shame. Psychopath, no conscience. What? Shame? What's that? They don't have one. So they can't project blame to avoid shame because shame is not even in their vocabulary. Narcissist, selfish and entitled actions. Gosh, selfish, especially entitled. Psychopath, cold and calculated actions. Gee whiz, the more I look about the psychopath, so that's pretty scary. That's why I said at the beginning of this that narcissists relatively to this is not so bad. Narcissists can be annoying, they can be a pain in the buttocks, but cold and calculating with no ability to see right and wrong, no conscience, no feeling. Oh, that's a really bad combination. Narcissist competitive towards others. Everything is a zero sum game. Even it has nothing to do with you. Like, hey, I won $100 in the lottery. She did that to make me feel bad. I don't know. Or everything's a competition. You think you're just minding your own business. Next thing you know, you find yourself in a competition. It's like, no. That's and the reason why a narcissist is competitive towards others is because it feeds their ego. I've found two things about narcissists. When you don't play along, they either double down or they move away from you because they're not getting fed. Never feed a narcissist. I'm better than you. Okay. So what? They're bragging about themselves. Okay. And so that's nice to hear. The only way to win is not to play, but competitive towards others, predatory towards others. That's what a psychopath is, predatory. Competitive, okay, that's something you can deal with. Predatory? So you're minding your own business with a narcissist, and it's just like, "Hey, you're being weird," or, "Hey, man, I'm gonna stay away from this person." This is if you look at the definition of predatory in the dictionary, it says, "Relating to or denoting an animal or animals preying naturally on others." Another definition, this probably applies more to the human and the psychopath, seeking to exploit or oppress others. And it can be related to plundering, pillaging, eating, metaphorically, hopefully metaphorically. So you're minding your own business with a psychopath, and ooh, you don't want to become a prey to a psychopath. I'm not going to go into the creepy details because I want to keep this relatively family friendly. Though I do say that this is not made for children. Narcissists feels insecure, acts confident. Narcissists are incredibly insecure because if you're secure in who you are, it doesn't matter what anyone else does or says or what the accomplishments are of others. So narcissists are very, very insecure. but acts confident. So a narcissist will be the most confident acting person you've ever seen on the surface, though every now and then the cracks will show. A psychopath feels confident, acts fearlessly. There is nothing holding them back. That's why this whole self-esteem is always a good thing. It's like, is it? Because this is the dark side to self-esteem. There's, of course, healthy self-esteem, but yeah, you should feel confident and relatively fearlessly, but we're talking this person is completely confident and doesn't care. They just do it. A narcissist, low stress tolerance. Yeah, they'll be all stressed out, and even the smallest thing will throw them off. Kind of a little bit like me. It 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 depends on what you do with low stress tolerance. I've had it in comments many times. "Isn't this everybody?" It's like, yeah, everyone has these aspects in them, and because it's part of being human. It's how many of them that you have together and also what you do with the feelings. I'm low stress tolerance, so I plan out my days to not be so stressed. I always work in some form of recreation. I try to do something at least once a day that I want to do because I want to do it. Whether it's reading a chapter of a book, whether it's riding my bike, whether playing with a puppy, whatever it is. That's what you do with your stress, or do some exercise regimen. You don't go out and try to hurt someone's feelings or put someone down to make you feel better, to feed your ego if you have low stress tolerance. However, psychopath, high stress tolerance. Stress stress isn't in my vocabulary if you for the psychopath. It's like, yeah, so stress, not a problem. That's why they're so dangerous. I'll just say this over again. Psychopaths are incredibly, incredibly dangerous. Narcissists have an emotionally dependent lifestyle. Yeah, everything's about their emotion, their feelings, and feeding their ego. It's a big circle to make themselves feel better. Oh, sorry. Rather, and and depending on other people, rather, to get that validation. And the reason why I wanted to clarify that is because the psychopath in comparison, solitary lifestyle. The stereotype of the loner. Though you can be a psychopath and be in a family situation, you can have the appearance of normal interpersonal relationships, but they don't exist. In reality, solitary, perfectly happy to be by myself, but to an unhealthy degree, and the reasons for that because it's all about them. They don't get anything from other people. Here's the website. Yes, so please, if you want to learn more about these, there's a big, 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 big long article. I just gave a little snippet, some excerpts. Choosingtherapy.com, sociopath versus psychopath. Also, if you find yourself in any of these situations or relating to any of my videos, I always say reach out for help. Reach out to a psychologist, reach out to friends, reach out to your support group. Because if you're feeling hurt, it's real. I get a little cranky when people are like, "Oh, you're hurt, Fifis." Yeah, sometimes your feelings are hurt. Okay, and it might be causing some maybe underlying feelings related to something that's happened in your past. Now, if you're a psychopath, well, you won't care. Actually, yeah, narcissists and psychopaths, that is one thing that they have in common. They won't actually seek help for themselves. I'm more saying if you're dealing with any of this kind of a situation, and I sincerely hope you're not dealing with a psychopath. So there we have it. Thank you for all of you who are watching on this premiere. And if you wouldn't mind, give me a like, share, and subscribe. I just need about 100 more watch hours to get that magic 1000. So have a great day, everyone. Have a great day. And be certain to steer very, very clear of a psychopath.